This is Luke Reardon from Module 6. Hope everyone's having a good day. Let's get started. So I looked at these district policies on how they interact with people of cultural different backgrounds, and a lot of the things that I found are on hiring. We'll start up here. I know they're kind of out of order, but I'm going to start here with Sacred Heart and St. Peter's. Sacred Heart is my alma mater here in Salina, Kansas. It's only about 20 minutes away from Solomon, where I teach now. The reason I chose Sacred Heart is because of what I just said. It's my alma mater. And the reason I chose St. Peter's because Sacred Heart and St. Peter's are both Catholic schools. One is in St. Peter's in Kansas City, and one's in a smaller Salina. I expected St. Peter's to have a district policy on this, but turns out I did not find one on either, which was surprising because of St. Peter's being in a completely very diverse area. I thought that they would have something in relation to this, but they do not. Then I chose Salina Central. I chose Salina Central because it is in District 305 along with Sacred Heart. Salina Central is a larger school in Sacred Heart. Another reason that I chose it, it is 6A. We've got quite a few students in it, and it does have a district policy talking about discrimination, and it's provided right here. Now, I did look at my own towards the end, and what I found with our district policies was hiring opportunities. I didn't find much about just discriminating on the basis of race or color. Up here, it just talks about not discriminating in general. Down here, it's always about employees. Salina Central did a good job. They had it on the front page of their school website. It was not hard to find. Solomon's was a little bit harder to find. I found it finally when I searched it in our search bar. I found it in the board minutes in 2018. So 3 years ago is where I found it. But it did have something, so that is good. But while I'm thinking a lot of these didn't have Little River, St. Peter's, and Sacred Heart didn't have one, and Solomon didn't really have one other than about employment. As I reflect on that, I was thinking that a lot of these smaller schools, especially these small urban, majority white communities around here, haven't had many incidences. And unfortunately, it sometimes takes an incident for policies to be put into place. I think about, the crazy rules you'll see at restaurants. I think of IHOP. You'll see a crazy rule, don't climb on this, and you think to yourself, that's obvious, but the back of your head, somebody had to have done something of that nature for that rule to be brought in the open. So you think, yes, unfortunately, it has to happen for rules and policies to be put in place. But I think mostly they don't have one just because nothing has happened or it just hasn't arisen yet. So what are the benefits of training faculty and staff on how to communicate with families of diverse backgrounds? First, once we educate people, they will recognize the importance, be able to identify the elements of responsible family information gathering, be able to recognize effective communication barriers in order to reach all families, they'll be able to describe effective ways to share child information with families. And the last one, build trust among the families and educators. And that is very important because I feel like, especially this day and age, it seems that the parents and teachers are constantly butting heads over their child when they need to realize that they are, in fact, on the same team. So that trust needs to be there. What are some techniques to be able to communicate with people of diverse backgrounds? First, you need to maintain etiquette. As myself, but we need to research target culture, be able to understand a little bit about that, to be able to communicate more efficiently. That only will benefit the child. Avoid any slang, anything that you might say that could be taken as slang, because they may not be understood by people of different cultures. Speak slowly, keep it simple, practice active listening. It will show them that you are listening. Take turns talking. Make sure it's two-way communication so they don't feel shut down. Write things down. Write things down is very important. One, first, it shows a way of active listening, but on top of that, writing things down, say the obvious, it helps you remember things, but I think personally it shows you are interested. But also, I think of my wife telling me to get things at the store or wherever else, and in the back of my head thinking, I'll remember that, but 9 times out of 10, I'm at the store and I am calling her to remind me of what she said. So any information you can take on a child and their education and how to understand a child and their ethnic background needs to be written down just so you can get all the details into your head. Avoid closed questions. Yes, no. Not only is that hard to show that two-way communication, but you can also shut people down by answering yes no questions if they don't really know what else to say. Make sure they can build on that, and if they can build on that, that definitely shows that they trust you, because they can give you more information if you allow them to build on what your questions are. Be careful with humor. Now I have trouble with it. Be careful with humor, because you don't know what could be taken offensive, especially in this day and age. Behave. We need to behave professionally. It's simple as that. This is our job. This is our profession. This is what we're professionals at, and we don't want to risk that with stupid little humor jokes. Always, always be supportive. So, um, what are some technologies that show two-way communication and can really help with the teacher-parent relationship? There's a list of them right here. I'm going to touch on a few. Class Dojo is one that I use personally, used for a few years now. And I really, really enjoy it, not only for the fact that it helps with classroom management between myself and the student, but also parents can email me, contact me. They can see comments that I put in. Why is a child getting or losing Class Dojo points? It does help with these points meaning something. Usually we'll try to have a trip towards the end of the year with Class Dojo in order for just for something for them to feel good about and for strive for. But also, it reminds me of like likes on Facebook, and you hear all the studies about those endorphins being released into your head. Kids pretend they don't care, especially older kids. When they get the fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth grade level, they don't pretend like they don't care. But when it's private and you give them a point for something and shows that you're paying attention, they do appreciate that. And when they're off topic and they lose points and they see it simply on their screen, and um, it's not a big spotlight on them, then that does make them get refocused. Down here, Team Snap. I I apologize. Team Snap, I've got to say, is the one that I use personally. I did not find this on the website or see it on a website in the reading, but I wanted to throw that in there for anyone that may watch this in the class. Team Snap I use because I coach three separate sports. A couple things this does. First, it allows me to send alerts. I can send alerts to people's phones, emails, basically not giving parents excuses to not see information that I'm putting out there. But also, it allows parents to be able to contact me on my cell phone with a separate number through the app. I'm not giving out any personal information, but but through the TeamSnap app, I have a different phone number, which is handy. And the Google AI from the article that I read is be a wonderful intervention, but it's using this Google technology, alternative technology, to help crash down that barrier of communication between families and teachers with different diverse backgrounds. So, what are some methods for teachers create strong relationships to students through these family engagement activities, positive two-way communication, engagement activities that provide support at home for learning? Now, I'm not going to talk too much on this positive two-way communication because I think a lot of that goes through with this and with these techniques. Um, but allowing teachers and parents to communicate with each other on a regular basis and not be a simple written form home or a updated calendar what they're doing at school every week, but actually talking to the parent one on one, whether it be with the cell phone, on a school phone, or however. But these family engagement activities, one thing that I love about these in my school in Solomon, USD 393 does a very good job of. We host many, well, I say we host, this past year has been terrible as far as communication goes simply from COVID, but we've in the past, years and years and years in a row, hosted family fun nights for MTSS, for math, for reading, just a bunch of games all throughout the school that families can come to and participate. Not only does this show active learning and parents can uh, just show that parents can come have fun and it being enriching at the same time. But also, this just gets an interaction between educators and families. This is good. Just gets people comfortable around each other without the needing to call for a specific reason. It It really just helps that relationship build so that you feel more comfortable when you're contacting each other about their student or their child. These activities that provide support at home for learning. There's a lot of different things that they can do, and that is teachers can provide methods for parents, such as these. Just spend time. All they really want is just time. My kid can have every toy in the world, but what does he want? He wants whatever's in my hand. Um, Engage in book reading. Encourage children to talk to you. Provide social interaction outside of school. Involve in activities. And each one, I'm going to go a little bit in depth, but spend time. Of course, that's self-explanatory. That's what, like I said already, that's just what everybody wants. I'm telling parents the importance of engage in book reading, just to hear those words and hear how they form in different words and different pictures, just to activate that brain. It's so important. I wanted to say this as well for anyone who's watching this video. We signed up. We have two children, both very, very young, and both of them were able to sign up for this Dolly Parton grant through the hospital. And literally, you get a free book in the mail every month. It's free. You get one, you read it, it's yours. And now that we have two kids, I thought we'd get the same book twice a month, but no, we get two separate books every month that we get to read to our kid. And what's interesting, it's for 5 years. 5 years. So 12 books a year for 5 years. It's pretty incredible and a great idea by this Dolly Parton thing. But it is good. It's wonderful. And another thing that's cool is for 5 years is you get these ones that are like pictures and numbers and letters when they're very young, and as they grow older, when they're 5, they do get more advanced books. It goes with their age. And you can encourage children to talk to you. Start from this at a young age, because if you don't encourage this when they get into their teens and their wonderful body changing years, they're not going to talk to you if they haven't in the past. Provide social interaction outside of school. I like a lot of this being family oriented. Go outside, go to all of the new things being built in Salina. Go play basketball, whatever you got to do, as long as it's spending time outside of school together and involve in different activities. Um, just for that social interaction with different ethnic groups, say it be sports or any sort of clubs you can get them involved in. And here is a list of my references. Hope everybody has a good day.